My criminal record, and as we have discussed about my past and my drug use and me selling drugs and stuff like that, it's all related to that. So all my record consists of drug charges, possessions, intent to distributes. Um, yeah, that's. I mean,
How
that's
long have you ever been in prison for?
2.5 years
At once?
at once. Yes.
Okay. All right. 2.5 years at once. And you had other prison sentences as well, or just that one?
No, no, that was the one prison sentence. I've had several more arrests since. Well, I had a few arrests after that. I was there last time I was in trouble with the law and actively using. The first deal on the table after another couple arrests was prison time, and then it got reduced to house arrest and probation.
How
So
long were you on house arrest for?
a year.
All right. So prison for 2.5 years, house arrest for a year, and
Yes.
then some probation.
And 3 years probation, yes.
All right. 3 years probation. I've been on probation too. Most people don't know that. So, all right. You want to talk about a criminal record and how that holds people back from getting a job. Before we get into people, has it and is it holding you back from getting any job right now?
No, it's not holding me back currently because I'm in the union. I'm a union carpenter, and so no, it would prevent me from working some places. I haven't run into that, but where jobs say we have jobs in school sometimes. We have jobs at drug companies. So there are some
So
places.
what? You can't take those jobs?
I wouldn't be able to go on those jobs. I wouldn't get clearance.
Ah.
So I haven't, since I've been in the union, I haven't run into that. I'm just aware that if I was with a company that got a job in one of these particular places, that there might be a possibility that I wouldn't be able to work there because they do background checks and so on like that.
Does the union know that you have a background, a criminal record?
Good question. I don't actually know. I don't know, but it doesn't, I don't work for the union. I'm just a union member. So,
okay.
Does
your current job know that you have a criminal record?
Only because I'm very open about my life. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a very small company. There's only a handful of carpenters. The owner comes out, so I'm sort of open about my life. So they're aware of it.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So now let's be clear about what you want to talk about. You want to talk about criminal records can hold people back from getting jobs, but that's not 100% true, right?
It's no, it is 100% true. It just isn't. Sometimes you can find ways around it. Some people with records may be a little more savvy. Sometimes they start their own businesses. But generally, the overall problem is that it is a problem because on that application, there's always that question: have you ever been convicted of a crime? And based off of that, oftentimes, and I'm going to give you some examples in my own life, that you're going to get passed up. Because if you got 7 applicants with no criminal record and you're the only one with a criminal record, why, I think the thinking of a company or human resources or something like that is, well, why do we take the chance with this guy or this woman for that matter?
Okay, so you're going to give you said you was going to give.
I'm going to give you some examples.
But wait, hold on one second, because what I don't want is I don't want us to send the wrong message without giving context. And I want to drill this into you so you can clear me up because I don't know. But can't you, there's always, you obviously said you can also start your own business, but I'm talking about an actual job. Aren't there certain jobs, you can get a job with a criminal record. It may not be the job that you want, but you could get a job like as at Pep Boys or at McDonald's or pizza delivery, can't you, or no?
Well, I don't know because I didn't apply for those jobs. But I'm sure.
Because some people are saying what you're saying, but they're using that as an excuse, and therefore they're not even going out to try to shoot their shot to see if they can get a job because they're hearing this statement being made. So I want you to set me straight.
Yeah. Well, let me clarify. Okay. I'm not one for excuses. I'm not saying, I'm not saying it's an excuse not to continue to try because I've continued to try. And then I got lucky and I got into the union. I never gave up when I got denied jobs. I never went back to selling drugs. I never decided, number one, I decided that my clean life and my life away from the streets in jail was a better life. So there was really no reason I didn't have a reason to go. I'm not trying to make mistakes. I'm trying to bring it to light because it is something that I've struggled with. And there are many other people that struggle with it. When you're out there grinding and you're filling out job applications and you got to answer that question and then you're not getting callbacks or my situation is I've been offered jobs. And then because of my record, they've been rescinded. And that's kind of what I want to talk about.
Okay. So you can get a job.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to shoot. So since I don't have a criminal record, I may submit one job application and I may get that job. You may have to do for every 10 applications you put in, it's like one for me, or for every 20 you put in, I only have to put in one. That might be a good way to look at it. That's a fair way to look at it. Because that's like what you have to do with taking care of your children. If they're listening to your story, like someone could say, well, I have this going on and, therefore I'm not going to try to take care of my kids. But you had to fight through hoops. You had to humble yourself. You had to go through all of these different things that most people aren't willing to do. But you essentially got what you want. It took you a little longer because of your situation, but because you kept shooting, you were able to ultimately get it.
Yeah, I kept shooting, and then like I said, I got lucky as well, and I had some prior skills just from working blue collar jobs, from being young, being a kid.
Okay, so let's get into your examples.
Yeah, I'll give you an example because it is sort of a story, and I still haven't settled on the thing that I do now. I'm going back to school to finish up my degree in June. And then
what degree?
I'm getting an English degree right now, but then I'm thinking about going on to grad school and going into becoming a therapist, maybe possibly family therapy, addiction. Along those lines.
What you're about to graduate with your associates or your
bachelor's. So I haven't
again.
Excuse me?
How old are you again?
I'm 45.
Yo, see that? So I think that's super dope.
So I'm still, I'm still grinding. Let's say trying to even at 45. I'm thinking. I could still do something of my choosing, and you'll understand what I'm saying when I'm about to, when I tell you what I'm about to tell you in the videos of. I don't know if you can probably see me.
Yeah, I see.
So like 10 years ago, I decided, 10 years ago I was clean for 5 years at that time, right? I've been clean for 15 years.
Okay.
So about 5 years I've been clean. I had just gotten into the union after working some, minimal paying jobs, blue collar work. I worked as a mechanic for a little while. I actually spent money to do that because I went to Lincoln Tech. And I worked as a mechanic for a little while. And, but then I thought, my mind was clearing up and I thought, man, I really didn't choose to do this blue collar work. Now, I'm not putting it down. Blue collar work is what allows other people to do and achieve their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because the blue collar workers are cleaning the toilets, they're paving the roads, they're building the bridges, they're building the buildings, they're building the homes. Like the blue collar worker is the worker that keeps the world intact, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
However, my mind started to clear up and I thought, man, maybe I can do something else with my life. Maybe I can stop strapping on the work boots and I could put on some Dockers and I could put on a collared shirt and I could do something else. I got excited about my life. I had been clean for 5 years. I'm like, I could do something else. There's still time for me. There's time left. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to school. Now, I told you I didn't have a formal high school education, but I did have a GED. I quit school in 9th grade. So formally, I had a 9th grade education. I hadn't been to school since I was, I guess, I got my GED when I was about 18, 19 years old. So I hadn't been to school in like 15 years. So I signed up for Camden County College. And the first thing I think, without really thinking, because I'm filled with all this hope and this excitement of going, I was like, I want to be a teacher. That's what I want to do. I want to teach. Which is nothing, it's nothing big. It's nothing major. I wasn't going to get rich off of it. But I thought, man, I could be a teacher. And I'd love to go back to the inner city and teach. Because I've already lived in the inner city. I've already been a kid in the inner city. And I know that I could help out not only academically, but I could understand what sometimes these kids are going through. Because sometimes home life, I mean, that's anywhere. Suburbs, inner city, whatever. Sometimes home life isn't that great. I'm not trying to paint a bad portrait of the inner city. But I did grow up there. And I do know what it's like. And I know what it's like to be going through things at home and then have to come to school. I know what it's like to see drug dealers on the corner. I know what it's like to be tempted to do that and then ultimately doing it. So I know all that. And I just thought
in the inner city, you're talking
inner
about
city, yes.
Camden, New Jersey.
Yes. And I was like, man, I'd be a great, I'd love to be a teacher. Man, that'd be great. Anyway, I signed up for, my first major is elementary education. And then shortly thereafter, I think I start to research it and I find out, oh, I can't teach. I got a criminal record. I can't be a teacher. I won't be able to be a teacher. So by that time, I'm doing this accelerated associate's program, and it was only offered to teachers, those who were going for teaching, nurses, and I think business. So there was a lot of nurses, nursing students in the course because you were taking some of the same courses, your general ed courses. So I'm like, man, nursing seems like a good career. I'll be helping people. Hey, I'll make a decent, they make decent money. I'll make some decent money. Yeah, maybe I'll try nursing. So I called the nursing board. I talked to them, told them that I had a criminal record. Asked them, would it be possible for me to still be to become a nurse? And they said, and the person I spoke to said, yes, we look at it as at a case-by-case basis. So your record doesn't automatically disqualify you. So at the time, I'm hopeful. I got hope. I'm like, okay, by the time I graduate, there will be 10 years between me and my last charge. I will have been clean for 10, probably 10 plus years. I'm already carrying a 3.8 GPA. So I'm no dummy. I haven't been to school in 15 years and I only went to 9th grade, but somehow I got a 3.8 GPA. Really what I'm doing is working my ass off. And so I get excited about it. I'm like, I'm going to be a nurse. That's what I'm going to do. I switch majors. I decide on a school to get my BSN. I'm going to go to Newman University in Pennsylvania. They're still offering a part-time BSN program, Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. It's expensive, but I figure it's worth it because it's a private college. All the other colleges in the area were going to 4-year programs. I still needed a part-time program because I was working and I had a kid. So that's what I decided I'm going to do. The news is hopeful. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. In the meantime, I'm laid off. I'm laid off from the union. It's around the time the economy crashed, 2008, 2009. I'm laid off. So I decide, you know what? I'm going to go to school. I'm not going back to the union. I'm going to pursue this new dream, that I have. And I started